Where is the smart strategy King Charles has done? Can somebody tell me? They're still getting grace when they don't deserve it. Yet Princess Catherine, who's done all the work and deserved all of it, is being shown in a picture where she doesn't look her best. I'm sorry, she doesn't. So again, Meghan Markle wins. What is the smart strategy, I ask you? I really ask you, please comment. I don't know. Hello, everyone. This is Miha Ella with Art of Experiencing. I'm imagining sitting back on the beautiful porch outside of my mansion in Montecito, California. It's the weekend of King Charles' coronation. I'm sitting back, enjoying the trees, taking in the fragrances of all the flowers around. And across from me is my dear mother, Doria. I would give anything to be able to understand what the conversation between Doria and Meghan Markle is for real. The true conversation, when there's nobody watching, when there are no cameras, when the facade is not being put on. What do you think the conversation is? Do you think that they ever get to be honest with themselves and with each other? Do you think that they ever sit when it's just the two of them and the children are playing in this huge garden of the mansion with 100 rooms and 100 bathrooms? Do you think they sit there over a cup of coffee or whatever they drink and look back at their lives? Look at what they've achieved so far. Do you think they say to each other, do you think ever Meghan says to Doria, "Oh my God, look at this, Mom. Can you believe what I've done? Can you believe what I've been able to achieve? Can you believe this?" What would Doria respond? How is she reacting? Truthfully, without putting on the pretend persona that being part of the royal family for both of them is the most natural thing in the world, as if that's what they've always done. That's what they've always been. This is what I don't understand. As you know, my perspective, every episode of my YouTube channel is from the point of view of acting. As an acting coach, I try to examine people's behavior, real people and actors playing characters, to figure out what's underneath the facade. What is the real truth? Not her truth, not the other truth, not the truth this morning, not the truth in a week from now, but the truth. What do they really, really deep down inside feel? Do you think they have a moment where they have a real conversation between the two of them? That's something that I would work on. If Meghan Markle and if her mother, Doria, were characters playing these roles, let's just say, I would do an improvisation with a scene that's similar to what I just described. I would have them turn back to look at this mansion they both get to live in, ask them how they truly feel about the arrival at that place. Do you think they ever do it? When I watch all these things about them, especially now because everything is about the upcoming coronation of King Charles, all of these people who are talking about them as if to say, this is the most natural thing that could have happened to Meghan. This is the most natural thing that could have happened to Doria. They talk about their children having titles. They give their children titles. And everybody else in the world, majority of the people in the world, they call them by those titles. So they're brainwashing the audiences. How is it possible that the rest of us are not responding to that for what it is. You may title your kids, you have your titles as Duchess. Take a moment and realize your backstory. Take a moment and realize where you come from. There's nothing wrong with where you come from. But if you're able to take that reality of what your life was, your past was, your childhood was, then you would be so much more open to celebrate yourself for what you have achieved. Do you think they ever sit back and look at each other and look at the children and look at the house and look at Prince Harry when he comes home and he walks through the door to say to each other, Mom, Doria, can you believe we're part of the royal family? Mom, Doria, can you believe I'm Duchess of Sussex? Mom, Doria, can you believe your grandchildren? I was able to give them titles. They're prince and princess. Can you believe that, Doria? And Doria would take a sip out of her cup. What would be her response to Meghan? Would she say, oh, this has been always something that I knew was going to happen? What's not to be believed? We were always meant to be on the world stage. We were always meant to be on the royal balcony. We were always meant to be. I don't think that's the conversation. I don't think at all that's the conversation. I think the real conversation between the two of them, and they're going to have a lot of time to be able to have that time to themselves when Prince Harry goes to the coronation, because she's not going. I did this episode last week. She doesn't want the understudy role. She's always wanted to knock off Princess Catherine and Prince William, knock them off and give herself and her husband the principal roles, even though nobody's offering them the roles. As actress, so-called actress, B-lister, she was never given a principal role. The only role that she had, even in the cable show, was not a principal role. So I don't understand why she's not used to playing secondary roles. There's an article in People's Magazine. Duchess Meghan of Sussex, she's considered, and she wants very much for grandfather Charles to be able to spend time with Princess Lilibet and Prince Archie, as if she's saying, I want my children to be able to spend more time with my mom, Doria. When you're putting Charles at the same level, I'm not here to say that there's a lower level of us not being the royal members to be on a different pedestal. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you have to admit the truth of what is. When you're talking about Meghan Markle wants to have her children to spend more time with grandfather Charles, and everybody's like, oh, how are the children not being able to go to the coronation? Why isn't Prince Archie going to the coronation? If you want Charles, the grandfather, to spend more time with your children, then you should make an effort to take them. I'm not even there yet. I'm not even to the point where everybody else is kind of taking the story and they're talking about it, because I'm still in my mind so confused and so in shock of the way that she talks about this whole becoming part of the royal family, as if her past did not happen. Why is she not saying the same thing about her father? Why is she not saying the same thing about the family from Doria's side? Why isn't she so concerned about the children, the prince and the princess, to spend more time with the family of Doria? Why isn't she concerned about that? Why is she concerned about trying to change the narrative, trying to change and spin everything around from where they were attacking the royal family, where they were trying to put them down? Now she's trying to change the story, but she still does it in a way that she is putting herself on a different pedestal than the pedestal that she is really on. And when I talk about that, I'm referring to the reality. What is the reality? For actors, as you know, I said it before, every time I go into doing an episode, I talk about the reality of actors. If they don't start with the reality of what is, you cannot go into the imaginative circumstances of the character you're playing. Because if you do not understand the reality, it means that you're not an actor. It means that you have to go see somebody, a professional, because you're not ready to act. You have to see somebody who's going to help you with your issues. That's what I'm talking about. I cannot believe that everybody's talking about, why isn't she making an effort about the children to be able to see their grandfather, Charles? It's the same thing when they were doing the Netflix, and there was a moment where she takes Archie in her hand and passes with him by a picture that she has in the house of Princess Diana. And she goes by and she points to the picture and she goes to Prince Archie. Oh my God, now see, I'm brainwashed. I'm calling him Prince Archie. She says, look, that's Grandma Diana. That's Grandma Diana. It's not Grandma Diana. It's Grandma, your grandma, Princess Diana. Your grandfather is King Charles. Your grandfather is part of the royal family. Oh my God, how much can we celebrate? Doria, mom, mother, let's celebrate. We have become part of these generational, traditional people. Let's take on and embrace and support and applaud their long time history. No, I want Princess Lilibet and Prince Archie to spend more time with Charles, the grandfather, because I don't have a father. The other grandfather, her father, Thomas Markle, no, she doesn't talk about him because he's not a king. He's not going to be a king. So why does it matter to her that they will spend time with him? Do you see the hypocrisy? This hypocrisy would be called out if any actor would portray it the same way that she's portraying herself to be. And then you have Charles. Let me call him Charles. You have grandfather Charles, who is so indecisive about making bold choices when it comes to the coronation, when it comes to the duo, Harry and Meghan, when it comes to all of it. There is not a lot of enthusiasm for the coronation from what I'm hearing. And I don't know specifics about that. I'm not here to talk just about the royals. I'm here to always make that comparison between real people and what actors would do if they were to play those roles. In reality, in actors' work, great acting, that's why I'm calling great actors actors, and I'm calling mediocre, bad actors B-listers. There's a huge difference. Great acting demands of you to be responsible for your past. Great acting demands of you to not let go of the reality. If that would happen to an actor, you know what the director would say? I don't think you're ready to do this. I think you have to go and take some time away from acting and really do a healing of yourself. Talk to professionals, talk to whomever you want outside of the theater, outside of the movie industry. Then when you feel like you can understand the realities, the principle, foundation on which you stand on before you can allow imagination to come in, then you come back, because then you're ready. If you're only doing the imagination and you're disregarding reality, then it's getting into the dangerous zone. It's something else. It's not acting anymore. It's medically something else that I know nothing about. The reason why I think she's able to call King Charles, the grandfather, only the grandfather. He's the grandfather. I want the grandfather to spend more time with my prince and my princess, because I titled them that. He is, in a way, merited that title, merited non-title. She's titling her children, but she's taking away the titles from the people who already have the titles. Charles, she took away the title from Princess Catherine. Kate, calls her Kate. Will, your brother. Harry, Will is calling on the phone. Do you remember in the Netflix? Your brother, Will, he's calling on the phone. Kate. She's taking away the titles from the people who already have the titles and have merited the titles, and she's putting titles onto herself and her kids. And that's why, due to the fact that Grandpa Charles cannot be decisive, cannot make a bold choice in regard to them, that's why she gets away with doing everything that she's doing? How can somebody get away with bad behavior, and then those people who have done the right things have to suffer because of the bad behavior? You know how? Because Charles is allowing for it, because he's afraid to take a choice. He's afraid to make a choice as any principal character, because he is the principal character in this whole week and the weeks coming to coronation. And if he, the principal actor, the principal character, is not making a bold choice, it would be the same thing that an actor would not make a bold choice, which means you are not decisive. In acting, you have to make bold choices. You have to be decisive, even with the risk of those choices being wrong. You will have known by the end of it that at least you tried this bold choice and it didn't get you what you wanted. So now you have another tactic, you have another strategy that you can use. He's been indecisive all this time, since the time that Meghan joined the royal family by marrying Prince Harry. He's been so indecisive, and he's losing the audiences. If I'm going to see a theater experience, if I'm watching something on the big screen and I'm watching the main character trying to please this character, then trying to please this character, trying to please the other character, trying to please the other character, I'm not going to be able to follow that principal character, because the character doesn't stand for anything. The character is afraid to be a brave, courageous character. He's afraid of displeasing these people and those people. If you have the fear of displeasing this audience or the other audience, you're going to be in the middle. You're going to be with your feet in two boats, and you're not going to be grounded and have that principal role kept. You're going to be taken off, and that principal role is going to be given to another actor who's going to do it justice. Because right now, I don't feel that King Charles is doing justice to his title. He's not only not doing justice to himself, he's not doing justice to the loyal people that have been standing by the monarchy for so long. He's not doing justice to Princess Catherine, who has been such an exemplary character, who inspires you to want to be kind, who inspires you to want to be strong, who inspires you to want to be a great mother, who inspires you to want to be a great wife, who understands her role and has surpassed it by her behavior. She has to suffer because of the bad behavior of the understudy, Meghan Markle. There was an article, I don't remember if it was in the book Our King, they talk about the period right before Queen Elizabeth passed. There was all this turmoil, and Prince Harry wanted Meghan to be able to be by the Queen's bedside. They did not want her there. So in order to keep the situation to be comfortable, instead of making that bold choice and saying, no, we do not want her to come, she hasn't earned her role to be there. But instead of doing that, well, let's just keep the situation very mellow, because we don't want them to be upset. We don't want them to go and do negative stories about us, to make her, Meghan, be satisfied. They take away from what Princess Catherine has merited. She was kept away from Queen Elizabeth in her last moments. They wanted to comfort Meghan. They wanted to comfort Meghan for saying no to her. You cannot be there. They wanted to come up with a plausible excuse so Meghan would not get crazy and come up with more blows towards them. It doesn't matter what you do to somebody who's a character as she is, as if they were characters. You remember, that's what I'm talking about. So this is not personally towards somebody. I've had some comments on my last videos where people are saying that I am so unfair to the duo. They do not need to have this kind of analysis about their characters. I'm talking about these people as if they were characters. I'm talking from the acting teacher's perspective and how I would work with actors if they were playing those characters. No matter what you do to try to please a character such as Meghan Markle, you will not win. You will lose the other characters, because the other characters will look at you and they will say, why should I behave? Why should I continue to behave the way that I have been, which is to show my loyal support, to be of service, to be responsible for my duty that I have as one of the working royal members, instead of her being the one to suffer the consequences of her behavior. It's the other character who's been doing a great, wonderful job in her role. Do you see how that doesn't make sense? Yeah. Please don't let them brainwash you. Do not let the duo brainwash you. Like I said in the beginning, if you are playing these roles, and if I am to work with them as the actors playing these roles, I would have Meghan and Doria have the conversation. Did they ever have the conversation between the two of them to say, what have we done to Thomas Markle, the father of Meghan and the husband of Doria? What have we done? Or is Doria ever saying to her, maybe we should get in touch with him because he did have some role in raising you up. He gave you the opportunities for you to then go and be on the same level with these people, where you got to meet Prince Harry. He helped you through college. He was there for you, having seen all of the pictures that we've seen from her past with her father. But she's trying to erase that because she is embarrassed by that past. She's trying to pop up as a character from the page. She's popping up from the page that she has constructed for herself when she was trying to establish a new version of Meghan Markle that shows her in Africa doing work for the people, when the entire reason for that was because she was trying to have pictures taken to show how much of service she is and how much she is wanting to do for the world. So then she can be looked at in those pictures and give the impression to Prince Harry that they are very similar, because he's also in love with Africa. He also did a lot of great things there. I don't understand how people are so brainwashed by it. And I don't mean this to offend any of the people who believe what they're doing, but it's just, I cannot believe that I'm watching them putting articles and talking about this entire coronation that's going to come up in May, as if it was something that was so natural in their lives. They're talking about it without any kind of, oh, can you believe that I have the opportunity now to be able to be part, not a big part, but to be a small part in this extraordinary, one of a kind, traditional ritual event in history. No, let me diminish that. Let me diminish the act of the coronation, because I'm only used to doing cable roles. So I'm going to take the coronation from where it's at, a wonderful event, and I'll bring it to the level of cable show. Let me bring it to the level of the cable show, because that's what I can connect to, because I never made it to the level of the coronation level act. If it were an act, I'm going to bring it down because that's what I can connect with. So I'm just going to say, there's your grandfather, and I want you to spend more time with your grandfather. What do you think, Mother? Mother, do you think that we should allow the children, Prince and Princess, to spend time with their grandfather? No title for the grandfather. And Doria's sitting back where she's looking, and in her mind, she knows that all of the things that she is surrounding herself with exist due to her relation to the king, due to her relation to the royal family, but they won't accept that. I'm sure they must accept it. Maybe they're doing it for moments where they're making sure that nobody's around to hear them, and they're whispering to each other, Doria, Doria, Mom, it's okay that you haven't been part of my life, but now I'm allowing you to be part of my life because you are keeping up with the backstory that I'm imagining. You're the one that's not going to bring the reality back of what it was, because I don't think we had a good backstory. So I don't want to talk about it. I love you so much, Mother, because you can go ahead and are not calling me out on my lies. Can you believe, Doria? Doria, can you believe we're part of this extraordinary event, which is called the coronation? And can you believe that I'm saying no? I'm saying no because I'm powerful. I am saying no because I am so powerful. Another thing that I have a problem with, majority of the people out there, they're looking at this picture. So they're showing the coronation program, whatever you want to call it, where King Charles, whoever decided, they took a picture of the entire family from 5 years ago, where the children of Princess Catherine and Prince William are very small. I believe it was the anniversary of King Charles's 70th birthday. They took that picture to put it in the program of the coronation. Why would you do that? Everybody's like, oh, isn't King Charles smart? I don't think he's that smart when it comes to Meghan. I don't think he's smart. I mean, I think he's smart because I know he's well educated. I know he loves Shakespeare. I know Shakespeare, a lot of people say, is the Bible to life because it teaches us all the lessons that we need to learn about life. And that's why it's so revered. So him memorizing speeches of different characters from Shakespeare is something to be admired. It's wonderful. But when it comes to someone who he has not dealt with before, he doesn't know how to change his tactics. He doesn't know how to change his strategy. He doesn't know how to adjust. When you don't know how to adjust as the principal character, that's a problem. It's a problem because you're going to start to lose the audience. The audience is going to look at you and they're going to say, you're a weak character. Why were you cast in the principal role? When you see the other characters, such as Princess Catherine, such as Prince William, who are more brave and bold characters, the audience will then question, why are they not the principal characters in King Charles' role? He's going to lose a lot of support, as he already is losing a lot of support. There's not a lot of enthusiasm about the coronation. There's not a lot of people, because people are like, why should we be loyal when loyalty doesn't seem to mean that much, because you are rewarding the people who are not loyal. Not only are they not loyal, but they are disparaging, they are lying, they are saying all of the horrible things that they can, instead of saying thank you, grateful to you, grateful for giving me this opportunity to be able to do some good now that I have this platform. Then of course the people are just going to be bored about it, and they're going to say, yeah, I'll wait for the coronation when it happens with Prince William and Princess Catherine. I'll just wait until that one. Why would you want to do that? For you to not be responsible and have responsibility for the people who have been there, done the work. It doesn't make sense. The picture that he chose, I was going about the picture that he chose, that everybody thinks it was such a great strategy on King Charles's part, because he chose this picture from 5 years ago, like I said. And the picture is with the children of Prince William and Princess Catherine when they were very small. Meghan and Harry were there, the family looking as if they were doing okay. This was before the rift, before the division happened, even though some say it was already happening, but they were able to cover it up. So they're putting Harry and Meghan in that picture, the picture with them. And when I look at the picture, I'm sorry to say, but Meghan looks beautiful in that picture. Gorgeous. She looks really beautiful. She's with this white dress. She's very fit. She's smiling. She looks really, really natural. And the demeanor of, oh, I can't believe I'm here. She had less of an attitude that she has right now. And then you look at Princess Catherine. It was right after she gave birth, I think, to Prince Louis, the youngest son. You know, she looked more modest in the way that she was dressed. Her hair was not the same color as it is right now. It was a brown, which I think takes away from her beautiful features. I like it when her hair is the black color and then she has the brown highlights. But when you do all brown, the way that she has, and the way that she looked in that picture with the brown hair, she just looks like the features are being erased by the brown color. It's just my opinion. Again, Meghan wins in the picture because she looks so great. Did Princess Catherine have a say about the picture that was chosen to be part of the program for the coronation? Did she? I don't know. I'm just asking. But it just seems like the bad behavior is the behavior that people who have the opportunity to say, no, this is bad behavior, we're not going to award it. We're not going to award. I don't even know what the right word is. You're being upstaged by the people who should be in the back. I'm just wondering. I'll post the picture as the thumbnail because I want you guys to let me know what you think. I believe that even if you ask her if that's one of her favorite pictures, I don't believe, in my opinion, that she's going to say that's one of her favorite pictures. But it's in there because that's the picture that King Charles chose. That's one of the pictures that he has of the entire family. I don't understand what the strategy, what the smartness in his decision to put that picture is, or what everybody's talking about, that it's a strategy. It's a strategy because the children of Meghan and Harry are not there. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. If I hear anybody one more time say and repeat what Meghan says, I want my children, my prince and princess, to spend time with their grandfather. I want that. I'm going to do everything that I can to make that happen. And then people pick it up and they continue the narrative. So she's already getting her way, even though we're looking at her and we're saying she's not getting her way because she's afraid to go to the coronation. Okay, she's afraid to go to the coronation. That's all in my last episode, because she doesn't want to be the understudy. She wanted to be the principal role. She doesn't have anything else to stand on if she's not the principal, so-called principal role in her mind. So she's not going there, but she's gotten so much. Also, I wanted to talk about a movie that I happened to see. It's on Showtime. It was done in 2015. Didn't see it until now. Listen to Me, Marlon. It is a documentary film about the life, the personal life and the artistic life of the brilliant actor Marlon Brando, who changed acting forever in the 1950s, 1960s, when he came up with members of the actor studio, with his teacher, Stella Adler, whom he thanks and he gives credit to in this documentary. This brilliant actor talks about his childhood. He talks about his traumas as a child. He talks about his relations with his mother and his father, not with shame. He talks about all of that to have helped him, to have given him the understanding into what it's like to be a human being and to be able to portray the roles that he became known for in a way that was truthful. He talks about the truth. He talks about actors having to take off the facade and reveal all of the underneath stuff we're all experiencing and feeling. And that means that you have to take into consideration your true backstory, your real backstory. If you are an actor, if you are a brilliant actor, as Marlon Brando was, then you will have realized that by doing that, you will enrich yourself as a human being. Therefore, you will be able to be more available, more kind, to enrich other people's lives as an actor, as whatever you want to do in life. Acting teaches you how to strive to be a better person. You will take all of those tragic, traumatic experiences where you felt unworthy, you felt less than. That is the reality that you have to deal with, to then be able to overcome it and to rise up to the character circumstances, fictional or real, it doesn't matter. You will be a better understander, you will be a better observer, better equipped to be able to dissect what it is to be a person, what it is to be a human being. That's what acting teaches, not only actors, that's what acting teaches audiences. Actors are important in society. It will teach audiences how to learn to examine their lives, because they will be able to identify with those lives of the characters, and they will watch characters such as Marlon Brando take and make bold choices in their acting, unlike anything that we have ever seen in any of the actors prior to his acting, because he's kind of credited with changing acting to truthful acting all over the globe. Streetcar Named Desire, On the Waterfront, and so many other movies that he's done, of which some of them he's not even proud of. After having been awarded with Oscars and named one of the most brilliant actors, he was still humble. He still had insecurities, tragedies in his life, and felt that he wasn't a good enough father to his children. His son had shot his sister's boyfriend. It was so emotional to watch Marlon Brando taking responsibility for not having been the best father that maybe he could have been to his son. And then the sisters, he had 2 children, the son ended up in jail, and then his sister, Marlon Brando's beautiful daughter, she committed suicide. The same daughter that the boyfriend, her brother, killed. I mean, to have all these tragedies. And then he talks about some of the movies, and he talks about Godfather. He talks about the work and the insecurities and all of the fears that he had to be able to get himself into those roles, because no matter how old you get, no matter how much you become successful to the audiences or how they see you, you still remain a human being for the rest of your life, wanting to work on yourself, to be able to gain the confidence, to be able to be kind, to be able to see yourself as a worthy person for a moment of your day. You know, it's not something that you get to at a certain point in your life and then you never have to work for that. If you already know, like some other people, that you are so the principal role, you are so there, all the other characters, you're not going to respect who they are within the circumstances of this act. You're not going to respect that. If somebody puts me in a role and they tell me this is the role where you are coming in to the coronation, this is the act of the king and of the queen. This is what my character, after doing a lot of research and after doing script analysis and after learning what my character has to do to participate in this coronation. There are traditions, there are ways of going about doing things depending the situation you are in, depending the country you are in. That was what I learned from working as an actress. That's what I'm learning every day from my actors that I work with, from directors I work with. I'm learning every day that I'm teaching, I'm learning. It's an ongoing exchange. It's a communion between us where you keep on learning, you keep on learning. The danger is with those people who think that they know. The danger becomes even worse, them being delusional in their concept of who they are and where they are, being given confirmation by somebody like King Charles with a picture in the program, in the Coronation Program. If anybody wants to watch that documentary, it's such a learning for anybody. The documentary, Showtime, Listen to Me, Marlon, movie about his beginnings to his brilliant acting, to then not being brilliant, to then having to try one more time and learn more about who he was as a person to be able to get back to being a brilliant actor. Just because you get to a status, it doesn't mean that you can keep yourself there. You still have to learn and to consider your behavior to be able to remain at that status. You can't just get to a status when you don't even merit. It's both Harry and Meghan. Prince Harry got to his status without having to work for it, just because he was born in the family. So they're both in the same kind of world they live in, which is one of forget reality, forget facts. It's not important. It's what we say. It's how we brainwash the audiences. The audiences do not get brainwashed. Some do, but a lot of the audiences do not get brainwashed. Thank you so much. Mwah.